At SoundEmbrace, we dive into sound matters, where science meets soul and curiosity leads the way. Each episode dives into the real, research-backed, and deeply human ways sound shapes healing, leadership, and the art of living a life you love waking up to every day. Because sound isn't just something you hear, it's something you become. Hey, welcome to Sound Matters. I'm Danielle Hall. Today we're exploring something both scientific and deeply human, the physics of feeling. So have you ever noticed how you are, getting ready at home, you're getting ready for your girls, you're ready for a night out on the town and you're feeling good, you're feeling sexy, you're just feeling yourself. And then you walk into the room and everything changes. The energy shifted before even a word was spoken. Maybe your body softened, or maybe you braced, maybe you got a headache. Maybe you all of a sudden got this weird pit in your stomach. Well, that is vibration speaking, my friend. The language beneath the language. So in this conversation, we're going to look at how our bodies are instruments of frequency, how sound and emotion shape biology, and how learning to tune our own system can help us regulate the nervous system, deepen connection, and live a life we love waking up to every day. First, we'll ground this in research, because we gotta ground this. We gotta ground it. I will share a story from my own practice, and then we'll close with a guided sound meditation to experience coherence in your own body. But first, I'm gonna ask you, what would feel in tune today? What would feel in tune today? And I'd like you to keep that intention nearby as we kind of dive into our topic. Okay, first things first, the science. When we talk about the physics of feeling, what we're really talking about is how vibration, energy, and emotion interact inside the human body. And then how we are having these conversations with other bodies through these interactions in our individual bodies. Every emotion we feel, joy, grief, excitement, fear, it shows up in the body as some sort of movement, some kind of rhythm and chemistry. And the wild part, all of those are forms of vibration. So let's start with something a little bit more tangible, the heart. Research from the HeartMath Institute has shown that your heart actually produces an electromagnetic field that can extend several feet beyond your body. So we are just bumping in and walking through, whether we like it or not, in each other's electromagnetic field. We're just walking around in an electromagnetic field soup. This field changes depending on your emotional state. When you feel frustration or anxiety, the vibrational pattern becomes jagged and chaotic. But when you feel gratitude, when you feel compassion or appreciation, the field becomes smooth. It's rhythmic, it's coherent. That coherence isn't just on a pretty graph. It has measurable effects. It can calm the nervous system, improve communication between the heart and the brain, and even influence the people around you. Getting into that electromagnetic soup I'm talking about. It's why being near someone grounded and calm can actually help you become grounded and calm. Your body is literally picking up the rhythms that they're broadcasting. And that word broadcasting, I'm just using that as a metaphor, but the human body is a network of these oscillating systems, these tiny moving charges of rhythmic patterns. When you breathe slowly, you're changing your electrical rhythm. When your heartbeat shifts into coherence, it's as if you're fine-tuning your personal radio signal. Cool. Let's put that on the shelf. That is the heart, man. Let's just put that there to the side. Now let's go to the brain. You've probably heard about brainwave states, right? Like beta. Beta is when we're alert. Alpha is when we're relaxed. Theta, when we're more in that dream state and a little bit deeper of relaxation. What's fascinating is that external sound can guide those states. We have so much research on binaural beats. Binaural beats are these two slightly different tones that are played, one in one ear, one in the other, and then it creates this average, let's say a 440 hertz tone in one ear and 400 hertz in the other ear. Well, when we have tones that are that close in the frequency, we actually can't hear the difference between these two tones. So our brains are super smart and it creates an average. And the average in this particular case is 40 hertz, which is the difference between both of the tones. And what we will hear is 40 hertz. And that is the binaural beat. This shows that the brain can synchronize to the beat frequency between them. So when you listen to slow, rhythmic sound like a sound bath, your brain often follows along. That's why people describe feeling drowsy or deeply peaceful in a sound bath session. Their neural rhythms have shifted. It's so cool. It's so cool to witness. And so when we're doing that, when we're creating that sound environment, we are doing what's called entrainment, where one system is syncing up with the other. And that same entrainment happens in our nervous systems. Stephen Porges, he wrote Polyvagal Theory. He helps explain this. So in his book, it says that our body has a built-in safety signal, tone of voice, rhythm of breath, gentle vibration. All of these things communicate whether you're safe or whether you're not safe. When we hum or we sigh or even hear someone speak in a soothing tone, the vagus nerve sends messages throughout the body to slow the heart rate and to relax the muscles. This is why practices like chanting or toning, humming, they feel so good. They literally stimulate the vagus nerve, activating your parasympathetic rest and digest system. It's self-regulation through sound. Now let's zoom in even deeper. I know you're ready. Stick with me. You got this. Let's get down with your bad self. Let's get down to the cellular level. Dr. Candace Pert, one of the pioneers in neuropeptide research, discovered that emotions aren't just in the brain. Yes, I will say that again, that emotions are not just in the brain. They are electrochemical messages traveling throughout the entire body. And she calls these molecules the molecules of emotions. Every cell in your body has receptors for these neuropeptides. And when they bind, they change the electrical charge of the cell. Mic drop, okay? Literally alerting its vibration. Pert says, we're not just little hunks of meat. We're vibrating like a tuning fork. We broadcast and we receive. Think about that. How exciting! Your emotional state is sending out signals that your body and even the other people near you can pick up. This isn't woo-woo, people. This isn't some esoteric speak. It's physics and biology talking to each other. Okay, of course. Okay, let me bring my excitement down a little bit. Of course, this conversation between physics and feeling is still unfolding. There's still some research that is to be had. There are even emerging theories, and I want to be clear, this is still theoretical. It suggests that our emotions might operate even at a quantum level. I know. Let's stretch our minds for just a moment. Because some researchers like Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose have proposed that consciousness itself may have quantum roots. Others like Jerome Busemeyer and Peter Bruza use quantum mathematics to model how we make decisions or hold conflicting emotions all at one time. You know that strange moment when you feel both sad and relieved? That's what they're talking about right here when we're holding two conflicting emotions. And while much of this is still being debated, it does raise a really interesting idea. What if our emotions are not isolated experience inside of our skulls? but waves in a shared field of information. What if empathy and intuition are forms of emotional entanglement? It's all just so interesting. The direction of the research is pointing toward what ancient wisdom traditions have known all along, that everything is connected and vibration is the thread that weaves it together. So from electromagnetic heart fields to brainwave entrainment to peptides dancing through our cells, the science keeps circling back to one truth. We are vibrational beings. And when we change our rhythm through breath, intention, or sound, we change the conversation happening inside our bodies. That's the physics of feeling in action. So let's take this back to a real life experience that I've had. In my early days as a sound healing practitioner, first of all, when you first get into this work, you see a lot of stuff. And I really do hope that we get to unpack a lot of those things the further we go down the podcast rabbit hole. But in my early days as a sound healing practitioner, I noticed something that I couldn't explain at the time. And this, came to be something that happens in my room nearly every session. Okay, so during this group session, there would be these moments where the entire room seemed to breathe together. And I'm not talking about the time when I'm purposefully asking everyone to breathe. I mean, in the beginning of all of my sessions, I ask people to take these deep breaths. So we slow down the breath rate to slow down the heart rate. We slow down the heart rate. We're able to slow down our brainwave states, right? That's not what I'm talking about here. They are in session. We are in it. I'm no longer talking. I'm no longer leading. And there would be these moments where people would just breathe together at the same time. People on the opposite sides of the room would have the same leg twitch or decide that they're going to roll over onto one side. And then like a cascade of sighs, kind of different points of the room, people would make this sigh. It was as if everyone's nervous system decided, yup, now this is when we're going to do it. This is when it's right. And like later when we would sit in circle afterwards or just sit in a sharing opportunity after the facilitation, these people don't know each other. These people weren't even laying next to each other. These strangers would describe almost these identical sensations, like a flutter in the chest or a weight on their chest. Or they might feel this like rush of warmth or see the same color. These are not coincidences. They were moments of coherence. The body's frequencies syncing in the same field. And then at some point, this came to me that sound was doing what words couldn't do. It was aligning people to the same rhythm of presence. And since then, I've seen this over and over, no matter who's in the room, whether it's a corporate team, whether it's my therapy center sessions, a first timer, there's a point where the collective field almost clicks. It's like it clicks into harmony. It's the physics of feeling. And we see it in these sessions. It's alive and it's visible in real time. Cool. Now I'm going to ask you to just do a little gentle practice with me. If you are game, hopefully you are not driving. If you are driving, please do not follow all the directions that I'm going to give you as I lead you into this. And make sure that if you are driving and you are starting to feel too relaxed, you know what to do. Turn it off and listen to this later. Just because you know. All right. So I'm going to guide you into a little bit of a sound experience. And so if you are able and ready, go ahead and find a comfortable position. That can be laying down or sitting up. Placing your left hand on your stomach and your right hand on your chest. And as you do, gently close your eyes or cast your gaze down to the floor. I invite you to take a 5-count inhale through the nose, breathing in. And out of the mouth for 5. Again, in through your nose. One last time. Imagine breathing through your heart center. And as you continue that 5-count breath in through the nose, and out through the mouth, bringing to your awareness a feeling of appreciation. Inhaling, and on the exhale, hum. Your hum doesn't need to be as long as mine. Just pick up where you left off and continue humming. Feeling the vibration in your throat and your chest. Allowing this gentle hum to stimulate the vagus nerve. One last time. Allowing your breath to become natural, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Allow yourself now to simply feel the sound move through you, not just around you. If your thoughts wander, gently bring them back, connecting back to the pulse of your breath of breathing in and out. Bringing your awareness now back to your hands on your body. Noticing the weight of your hands to your body. The heat between your hands and your body. And ask yourself now, what shifted? What's one kind thing I can do for myself next? And when you're ready, you may slowly open your eyes. Before we close, let's come back to that question I had you ask yourself in the beginning. What would feel in tune today? Notice if the answer feels different now. Maybe your breath is slower. Maybe your heart feels softer. Maybe you can sense the quiet rhythm beneath all of the noise. That's the physics of feeling, the vibration of awareness, tuning your whole system toward harmony and wholeness. As you move through your day, I hope you carry that awareness with you. If today's episode resonated with you, I would love to invite you to be a part of the SoundEmbrace family, a community of sound embracers taking personal ownership of their lives and supporting one another, living lives they love waking up to every day. Join our free community for sound baths and monthly stillness challenges. Step into the Alignment Lab to go deeper with focused journeys into sound, mindset, and nervous system regulation. And for those who are feeling called to do this work, the SoundEmbrace Sound Healing Certification Program is the difference between being a performer and becoming a true facilitator of transformation. However you join, you will be surrounded by people who believe that sound is more than something you hear. It's something you become. Visit SoundEmbrace.com to live a life you love waking up to every day. Stay curious, listen deeply, live a life you love.